Hey, hello everybody. This is Ron LeGrand with another issue of the Mentor Podcast, and I've got two stars on here with me today, and at least in their minds. This is Steve Szumigale from Pennsylvania, and bottom is Andrew Schlag. Both of these guys happen to be mentors of our students on a regular basis and have been for quite a while now. So, Steve, let me start off quickly. Who are you, and how important are you?
So my name is Steve Szumigale. I hail from Erie, Pennsylvania. Nobody ever could say my last name, so they call me Real Estate Steve. I've been in Ron's world now for about 4 years, since 2017, and a real estate investor for 5 years. Right now we have somewhere between 65 and 70 deeds with the pendings for about right around $8 million. And also am an active real estate agent as well, with a booming business with help buyers and sellers.
Right. So you're one of those investors with a license.
That's correct.
Okay. So tell me what your January was like.
Sure. So this January actually absolutely exploded. The broker's business, we did 1.5 million in sales, about 4 to 5 transactions. In the investment business, we contracted 9 apartments for 425,000. We did 2 wholesale deals, and we just picked up 2 more rehab deals as well that just got inked. So we're pretty excited about that. Obviously, borrowing private money to fix and retail those back to the normal market.
Slow month, huh? So
set up Q1.
All right. So Andrew, how was your January?
It was good. We had a little bit of a slower January than previous months, but that's okay. December and January, sometimes we buy a little less deals, but sometimes they seem to be better deals. Just as I look back through the years. So January was good. We bought about 3 deals. I believe it was 3 we bought, and I want to say we lease optioned 2 and wholesaled 2 from, 1 from December and 1 from January. So good month for real. Good start to the year, and this month it'll just be better and better.
Pretty good month. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted them to see who's on here, and you guys are 2 of our 12 mentors, and both of you doing a great job. Today's podcast is all about. It's called the 7 biggest mistakes investors make. But between the 3 of us, we've got 21 of them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let Steve, you go first, and then I'm going to rotate back and forth, and then I'll come in, and if you guys missed any that I've got down here, I'll jump in there at the end. And remember, we've only got 30 minutes total to do this. So go ahead, Steve.
Okay, so I did have 7, but I had to look at my 7 to figure out like which one I thought was like the biggest one that really holds people back, and that is mindset development. Development of belief systems that you do deserve the business and that you can be great at it and you will be great at it.
So you say that because a lot of people come to you that have very low self-esteem and they don't think they're worthy, and they just don't think they can do it because life kind of sucks, and they've had some bad experiences in the past, and they need help boosting up self-esteem. And we get that done by getting them the first check, huh?
Right. I mean, I'm a big believer in it. I spend about a half hour a day every single morning. It's the first thing I do is mindset. When I get up, I have coffee and I read mindset books every day.
I remember I used to do that way back. Okay. All right. You, Andrew.
Yes. So my number 1 mistake, I think, is going into a deal with one strategy. I've seen, of course, others as well who will go into a deal and just have one strategy. I only know to lease option strategy. Yeah, one exit strategy. Okay. And so knowing the multiple ways that of course you teach and having all those tools in the tool belt, we've made a lot of deals that could have been just okay, great winners.
So in other words, if you think you're going to cash out of it and get a qualified buyer, and somebody comes along with a big deposit, you'll put a lease option to that buyer in it instead, and vice versa.
Vice versa. Yeah, we just had one that happened in this market. We had it up for lease option, and somebody come along and made us an offer. They was qualified for a bank loan, so we took it.
So what you got to do? You got to take money, right?
That's exactly right.
It sucks. It sucks, man.
I'll spin off that one. I forgot to tell you, in January, that's true. We put a rehab deal on the market. I totally forgot about this. And we ended up, this guy came in with $65,000. And
Yeah.
so naturally, if we're going to do a lease option on it now.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Who's next? You're next, Andrew.
So my
No,
Sec-
Andrew, you just did one, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, Steve, you're next.
So I think one of the biggest ones I had on here was playing Lone Ranger, trying to wear all the hats in the
Do
business.
everything yourself.
No delegation. I did that when I first started. You're going to lose your mind, probably your marriage and the people that like you around you. You need to delegate in order to be a successful real estate investor.
So I'll follow that up with delegation and systems, which delegations is a part of. And you're correct. It took me 25 years to even figure out what systems meant and try to do everything myself. Oh, I had a little bit of help, but not much, not like we do today. I mean, I don't do anything today. I am pretty much worthless today. I don't do anything. And that's the way I like it. And I'm not coming back. Okay. So what you're telling me is delegate everything, which means either outsource it or delegate it to somebody else that you know, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, you're not really going to grow a very big business at all if you don't learn that. Okay, good one. You're up, Andrew.
Yeah. So this should have been my number one, because this is probably the one that had caused me more headache and disaster than anything else. But that is believing people. I remember in April 23rd, 2014, I met you, Ron, and I'm sitting there at Quick Start. And in that Quick Start event, you said, something along the lines of, everybody wants to see you fail. Nobody wants to see you succeed except your mom and hopefully your spouse. So I
did say that. Yes, I did.
Yeah. And I had a starry-eyed approach, which, benefited me. I believed everything you told me and implemented it. So that was a plus. But I also, being raised, my dad's been a pastor for many years and, a minister for well over 50 years. And, I had the approach that people were generally honest. Right. And, I quickly realized that, people will do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, and drag you out as long as they can and leave you out to dry.
Hey, to your defense, you were only 21 years old when you came in, for crying out loud. You've been alive long enough to know that you can't believe anything you hear. In other words, you learned that the whole world is full of crap, right, Andrew?
That is, yes. Simply put, that is exactly what I learned. And I would say, if I could go back and rewind and change that, I think it bounces off of what Steve's original, thing he said was, where we go into things and sometimes we believe people. And that was a mindset that I had. And I wanted to believe people with my mindset to believe them. And I honestly just didn't think people generally wanted to, do bad things. And if somebody can drag you out for a month or two to make 20 grand off of you, they will.
You thought the whole world was out there just to help you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
The whole world operates in chaos management.
Yeah.
We choose not to do that.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't want to be involved in their chaos if they can't keep their promises.
Amen, brother.
All right. Well, let's remember we got 30 minutes here, guys, and we haven't even got warmed up good. Go.
So that brings me to the next one is, keeping reserves, not paying real estate taxes, and keeping promises. That's on your end. That's what you need to do to be a long-term real estate investor that builds legacy wealth and cashes big checks along the way. So if you say you're going to do something, you need to do it. You need
That's
to
two different things, actually. That's cash flow management and then keep promises. Work together, but that's really two different issues.
Right.
Promise is a big thing because your relationships are way more important than the money that everybody's chasing. Cash management is also a big thing because if you don't manage it properly, your life is going to suck, and you're always making stupid mistakes, and you're managing from chaos and making decisions that are short-term solutions to long-term problems, and your relatives are not liking you anymore, and people are wondering why you're such an asshole, pretty much. That's about the size of it. That's negative cash flow creates a lot of problems. Positive cash flow fixes, doesn't it?
Right.
Okay. We got to learn to get ahead of that cash flow and not wait till the month goes over and then figure out if we made any money or not. We got to.
Right. So the wholesale deals and those big check rehab deals and those, non-refundable option deposits, cure most things.
You're correct. And we got to plan ahead. We can't spend money that doesn't belong to us, like taxes you mentioned, for example, and insurance. It needs to get paid whether we have the money or not. All right, I got to go down to Andrew now.
Yes. So another big mistake, my third one that I would say, and I thankfully, it's not one I've had, I guess you would say, the school of hard knocks on, thanks to you, Ron. But I've seen where it could very easily go wrong as I was going through this transaction with trying to sell the property package and things with some of the debts I'd guarantee. I would say guaranteeing debt is a mistake I've seen many make, and that could have easily went wrong on that.
I would put that at the top of the list, gentlemen. Guaranteeing debt will take you out. If things go wrong, and they always go wrong, Murphy lives everywhere. As you all know, and I pounded into you, we don't guarantee debt on Planet Ron. We learn to buy houses without going down and borrowing money or guaranteeing our
Absolutely
sellers as well. All right, that's a good one. Okay, back to you, Steve.
I have on here miscalculating repairs, not verifying what they are on the way in, and then jumping out of the plane. Parachute don't open on the way down. It opens closer to the ground. You're going to have issues. I've been
What
there.
you're saying is you're so smart, you don't have to actually verify anything. Right? Okay. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, well, that's a lesson people will only learn once or twice before they figure it out. And, except for me, I learned it 10 or 15 times. Verify everything before you close. And then that'll actually keep you from closing on some of the properties. Good one.
Yeah. Thankfully, Aaron and I are business partners, so I don't have to worry about the rehabs no more. If he says it's a go, it's a go, and if it's not, it's not. I'm horrible at estimating those. So my next
you delegated, huh?
Yes. So
we need to tell everybody Aaron's your brother.
Aaron is my brother. Yes, Aaron is my brother and business partner. We work together, and
the better looking of the two as well.
It's a matter of opinion, Ron.
That's just an opinion. Yeah. Right.
So this is a huge one, and this is one that has at times hampered what could have been much more to the business. And it kind of rides off of what Steve said about delegating, which is getting busy and lacking follow-up. So, when you get enough leads coming in and deals coming in that you need help, get help. Because I found when I was short-handed, I may have 30 sellers floating everywhere and, 4,000 papers scattered across my desk, and the ones who call me back, I buy their houses, and the rest, 7 months later, when I'm cleaning off my desk, I remember that they was there. So I'm exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying, making sure that they're there and they're followed up with, and you have a system and a plan to do so.
So your message is follow up.
Yes. Follow up 100%.
I'll bet you a large percentage of your deals come from the follow up, not from the first contact.
Absolutely. Our follow-up is, in fact, we're just getting one right now. We've been following up with her for 4.5 months, and it's going to be a great wholesale deal. And in the follow-up.
I agree. Okay.
I guess to spin off that, follow-ups are 6 to 8 contacts to get one of those creative financing deals. Like, they all usually take that long. There's very few that I can run in the house with my mask on these days and sign in 5 minutes and leave, and it goes to closing. It's 6 to 7, 8 contacts to get one.
Yeah. And the only way you're going to follow up is to delegate, because you ain't going to do it.
Very true.
You guys want to know what the last thing I was doing before I got on this podcast with you was?
Delegating something.
I was writing, actually one of the students delegated to me. I'm writing a contract on a house in Georgia that my sister Barbara and my student have negotiated. And I talked to the seller. Nobody told me the seller was a real estate attorney. he pointed that out to me very clearly. Writing a contract and send it to him. We'll see what happens. I mean, we have an oral agreement. All right, who is next?
Let's see here. I got taking too low of a non-refundable option deposit because you don't want to pay the monthly payment. Done that a few times. I can tell you're going to get the house back, and you're going to have a bigger problem than you had the first time.
Which kind of comes back to poor cash flow management, doesn't it? Not setting aside some of the money from the deals that you do to account for things like you have to make a payment every now and then, and have to do a repair sometimes when the house is vacated and things like that. You have to pay taxes and insurance if they're not escrowed. You know, Murphy. So, all right, we got it. That's a good one. I learned that one the way too. Always the hard way. All right, how about you, Andrew?
So I'm a massive action taker. From
Mhm.
day one, when I met you, I go out and do what I'm told and do it quickly. And so when I started delegating, the team started growing, and we have a great team. Sometimes I guess I assumed or anticipated everyone else would be like that, and so I would delegate tasks, and sometimes I didn't follow up like I should have. I would just assume they were done and then find out later they weren't. So whether it be for the listener, someone who, you know, personally struggles to take massive action, the phone is 1,000 pounds and they struggle to pick it up, or you know, somebody on their team, a partner or somebody, you know, just taking massive action, you know, guided action, but massive action is so key.
Yeah, and I also picked up, we're back to follow-up, but we're talking about follow-up after delegation.
Yes.
And that means that you better keep track of what you delegated and who you delegated it to, so you can follow up. And, you know, I do the same thing. I just make a note of anything that's important enough to write down anyway. I just make a note. Every once in a while, I look at it. Is that done? Is that done? Is that done? Is that done? And if it's not done, go find out why it's not done. And pretty soon, whoever you delegated to gets the message. By the way, all these things we teach in business management boot camp for you guys, if you're listening, this is what it's all about. What's actually what we're talking about is business management here in a big picture. So
I will say business management event changed the way I thought from doing business to running a business. It was a
that's
life-changing event.
exactly what it's all about.
You
Yes.
need to go multiple times to business management because you're not ready to receive all the information
Mhm.
based upon where your business is and how big it's built.
Mhm. Yeah.
It got to the point where I came back for the third time, and the example on the board I heard from the first time was actually my business. I was like, holy crap, I did it.
That's awesome.
It was like an aha
Okay.
moment.
All right, whose turn is it?
Steve.
My last one here, I have just paying too much. As much as you want the deal, if you think you're
Mhm.
paying too much, I would remove yourself from the analyzation and give the analyzation to somebody else to actually let them look at it and like
Mhm.
ask them for their opinion. Because sometimes
Okay.
you got your you know head buried in cobwebs doing a million other things, and
I assume you're talking about when you're paying cash for houses.
right, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. It's better to have no deal than a bad deal. And there's no reason to learn the lessons that we've all learned because of the anxiety of not getting a house. Now we're going to pay too much to get a house. That's going to just create more anxiety.
Right.
Hey, it's a good lesson to look back on, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Seminar.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew.
So I guess we off our rotation. I have two left. So the last two mistakes I've made is cashing out of too much stuff. So that's depressing when I look back at what that would be. You have to cash out of some things to keep up cash. And then lastly would be having rentals. I decided to.
All right. Well, let's talk about that in a second.
Sure.
It is so easy to get in this business, especially when you need money, like you need oxygen, and get the mindset that I got to get to that check. I got to get to that check. I got to get to that check. And unfortunately, for some people, they spend 20 years and they don't get out of that mindset. Both of you guys have gotten out of that mindset only because you can live through next Friday without having to have a check between now and then.
Right.
So you did put cash flow first. You did create a solution to your cash flow problems, but then gradually, because of the constant pounding by me, you probably, or in Steve's case, maybe his mom, finally came to the conclusion that there is a tomorrow, and that the longer you keep the house, the more money you make on it, and the more wealth you create, and the less taxes you pay. And a lot of people that get into that flip habit never really learn that. They just get in such a habit of getting to that check, and it even occurs to them that they better start keeping some of those properties, and they'll keep on paying for years and years to come. Which reminds me, both of you guys are in the terms business as well as the all cash fix and flip and wholesale business, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes. And what really made it real to me, Ron, I let somebody, I made a real nice, for Indiana, it's real nice. It's about a $200,000 house. And I bought it on terms. I owed 150 or whatever. Anyway, somebody had finally talked me into cashing out of it. And so we worked on it and cashed out of it. And the check was 14,000 and something at closing.
Mhm.
And I got to looking back at the lease option numbers. That was after I had lease optioned it 5 times.
Oh my God.
And I looked back and I said, I would have got 14 grand without A, doing the work, and B, I'd have had cash flow of 300 a
Yeah.
month, and C, I would have had another $40,000 payday later unless they didn't cash it. Grown.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I just became very, very frustrated with myself about that decision and vowed it would never happen again.
And if you're watching this, guys and gals, I just did a podcast on why you may not want to cash out now. So go back and take a look. It should be posted by now. And it was a good one, actually. In fact, I had the quotes on here. They showed us how they made $490,000 on a house they paid $180,000 for.
That's awesome.
You're going to have to go back and watch that podcast as well.
I will. We'll have
So-
to do that.
So did you have a last one, Andrew?
I did. My last mistake was I decided that I wanted to do a portfolio and sell, which was a dumb idea in the first place. And I had over 12-month period or so had shifted a lot of things to rentals, and dumbest idea I ever did. And now my motto is never have a rental, unless I have a duplex or some odd thing. I never have a rental.
You mean you want to put a lease option tenant buyer in the house, not just a tenant?
Correct.
Right.
I want
We're
to.
talking about just houses here.
Yes.
So
So
you can get a big deposit and you can shift all the repairs to them. And you got a tenant buyer, not a tenant. You got a totally different mindset.
I quickly realized that a tenant, not only do I have a deposit, I got to give back, and it's tiny. They don't care about the property that much.
Mhm.
All the repairs I got to do, that's a lot,
Uh,
especially when you're talking about 40, 50, 60, 80 houses.
Yep.
It keeps adding up. And then you don't have any back end paydays because they don't buy. And so
Yeah.
with the lease option, we get the money up front, more quality person. We don't have to do the repairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if and when they cash us out, another paycheck, of course. So
Correct.
that was a huge aha moment for me as well.
Yeah.
I heard it from a gentleman you know and love. His name's LeGrand. But after experiencing it, it became even more real.
Well, I learned the same lesson, man. I had 200 or 300 tenants before I ever put my first tenant buyer in the house. And then I looked back, what the hell did you do? What an idiot. So much better tenant buyers over tenants. All right.
Yes.
Done then, both of you?
Yes.
The last one, I had 8. So I guess if I miscalculated the 7, I'm not sure. I had
Can you count to 7? Okay.
I think this one I think was 2. But the other one was robbing Peter to pay Paul, which I think we discussed.
Good one.
Which is always a good one. Ron taught me that one. So I
You're
figured I'd
spending
put it
money
on
that
the
isn't
list.
yours.
Mhm.
In other words, the bills are coming. They haven't arrived yet, but you spend that money before they arrive. And now you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. Yeah.
Right.
So now all you're going to get out of that is sore Peter.
Sore Peter.
Okay. All right. I got a couple. You guys knocked a couple of them out. One of them is people tend to quit too soon, as both of you know when you're mentoring students. They get first time they get a little hurdle, they want to quit. First time they have to get on the telephone and actually talk to another human, they want to quit. And in reality, and I say this, and I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. The truth is, if you can't do the real estate business, I don't know what business you can do, because they all got the same problems and they all got hurdles to climb. And frankly, real estate is one of the easiest businesses and the most profitable. Can you think of a business that's more profitable with a bigger markup than what we do? I mean, we got nothing invested in the inventory, really, or little or nothing. We got great big transaction checks. So, if you're going to quit this, you're going to quit everything else too. So you might as well make up your mind, stay in there until it gets done, especially with mentors like you guys and the others. Your whole job is to help people succeed, and you do a good job of it. Which brings me to the next one, and that's they let lack of money stop them. Now, I know when both of you started, you had all the money you needed, right?
Not the case, sir.
No.
No?
I was flat broke. 21
Broken.
years old, didn't know anything,
Broken.
and had $80,000 in medical debt. My net worth was a negative 80 grand, Ron.
Okay, I recall. I mean, in my own case, I recall. So how about you, Steve? Did your mom give you all the money you need?
No, when I first got licensed 10 years ago, I was, everybody was congratulations, congratulations. Your mom's like the number one person, in the area. You'll do well. So I go, hey, I'm licensed. She goes, well, she didn't even say congratulations. She used the swear word and told me I had 2 weeks to go find a buyer or seller. She wasn't teaching me. So I never got anything.
That's my kind of mom. Okay. All right. My next one is, again, people tend to hang around losers. I think that's probably believe in everything you hear, but honestly, if you hang around with the wrong kind of people, pretty soon going to poison you and steal your dreams, which is their, nobody wants to see you succeed. They really don't, except like one of you said, I can't remember which one, maybe your spouse. So you got to be careful to whom you listen, because you're going to get all kinds of advice. It's all free and it's worth what it costs. And frankly, almost all of the advice you get is from people who have no idea what they're talking about. And you cannot get rich listening to broke people because they have no clue. So you may have to change who you hang around. And some people might have the same. So I'm just going to throw that. And I hope you're not married to them. But even if you are, it's something to think about. And next is focus on cost control. Too many people focus on the pennies and don't think about the dollars. If we're going to build a business like you guys have, we're going to spend a little bit of money to generate leads and marketing. But geez, in fact, I'll ask you, Steve, you know what your average lead cost is?
Sure. So we spend to get one deal is between 800 and 1,000.
Yeah, but that's in your total marketing.
Right.
About $800 to get a deal that nets you a minimum of what, or an average of what?
Depends on the exit, but usually between $30,000 and $50,000.
Okay, I'd have to run that through the computer to see if that'll work. Okay, how about you, Andrew? Do you know those numbers?
Yeah. So our online, I have down almost to the penny. It's $1,800 right now, but our free and cheap ways bring that down. So we're right at $1,000 across the board. Yes.
Okay, which is probably true for you as well, Steve.
Right, that's true.
And all the free leads that you get, that knocks that way down. And what's your, Andrew, what's your average profit you get out of a deal? That
our average wholesale fee is $14,000. Our average pretty house up front down payment is about $11,000. Our average lease option cash out is right at 40 something thousand.
So you guys just made the case that we need to quit worrying about the pennies and focus on getting the deals, because the payoff, we got large transaction value deals, which most companies wish they had. Walmart wishes they had the kind of profit spread that we have in real estate. Restaurants wish they had this kind of profit spread. It's not there. So it doesn't matter what it costs you to get a deal. It matters how many of them you're getting. And then lastly is stop learning. I know from being around a lot of years, and I'm telling you, both of you are not guilty of this. And that is, people get to the point where they understand the business and they're making some money and they quit learning. Quit learning is deadly. In fact, the minute you stop learning, you start dying and decay sets in. And besides, things constantly change, don't they? Always.
Right. Yeah.
So we got to keep up with that. Plus, we got to keep motivated, don't we? There are days, I never asked you this before, but I know there are days you wonder why you're doing this. Especially back in the beginning days, when all of those times you thought like, I should quit this and go do something else.
It was about 80% of the days for the first few weeks.
Okay, so we're pretty much on target then, aren't we?
Till I got a check.
Yeah, that first shut up check. Huh? Shut up, leave me alone. All right. Well, in that light, I'm going to give everybody listening a chance to start learning, and it's free. Write this down if you're listening. And then go to thementorpodcast.com/PC for podcast, and tune into my my online training on the terms business, which all of us do, and others around the country do it as well. I go through step by step and show you how these guys are making money, and it's free. So go there. It's thementorpodcast.com/PC. And I want to thank you two guys for contributing. You always contribute. we get a ton of great comments from both of you, from our students that you are mentoring, and you're just a great couple of guys to do business with as well. And you're a great couple of human examples of good humans. So
Always
Thanks,
a pleasure
Ron.
being with you, Ron. Thank you.
Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure. Yeah, you've changed my life. If I can give back in any way to let other people know that you need to believe in yourself. You do deserve this. You
yeah,
know, and it will
Yeah.
change the legacy and the trajectory of your family when done correctly.
but it's only going to change if you want to change it and you do something to make it happen.
Mhm.
You know, you say, I changed your life. I really just brought you the information. You had to do all the work. You know, I wasn't around. So the kudos go to you. Right? I'm just a messenger boy.
Well, my wife says when that smacked me at the Masters that I hit the lottery. She says I hit the lottery. She knew I hit the lottery.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's awesome.
Meaning you got involved and started.
Got involved, right?
Yeah.
But-
All right.
And to say on that, I thank God I found you, Ron, when I heard that radio ad in February of 2014, because I know there's a lot of people teaching a lot of things, and I believed everything I heard, hook, line, and sinker, and it was a lottery hitting, life-changing moment.
I'm glad somebody was listening to that ad. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
See you.
Much love. Take massive determined action.
Okay. Bye-bye.